What's up? Welcome back, enchanters, to another epic unveiling of none other than my Beckett grading from Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm so excited here. We graded, I believe, close to about 40 Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards with Beckett. And if you want a more immersive detail of my overall experience with Beckett, make sure to go check the link in the description, my previous video with Pokemon. I think I did about like 66 Pokemon cards and 40 Yu-Gi-Oh! I sent the submission together. And you're going to hear a lot about my overall experience, how to go about grading, whether I enjoyed grading with Beckett, which my overall experience was like a 7.58. It was a great experience. It wasn't awful. It was great. It could be better, but I'm going to share all those details, how you can go about grading yourself, some tips, suggestions, and so much more. And I'm going to do some of that as well on this video as well. It's going to be a little long video, close to about a 30-minute video, because it's going to be quite immersive. I'm going to unveil all the grades. What you can look forward to is what my grade was for it prior to sending the submission, what it got, what I was happy with, what I was disappointed with, and so much more. Now, before we dive in, if you happen to come across this video, because the thumbnail was epic, right? And you're meeting me for the first time, don't forget to subscribe below. Hit that thumbs up button if you found value in this video. And most importantly, hit that bell to get notified every time I upload content every Monday and Thursdays. I am a collector at heart, and this Yu-Gi-Oh! Collection, I played Yu-Gi-Oh! All through middle school into high school. I think I stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Like my freshman year in college is when I stopped. Like roughly around the age of like 19, 20, I stopped collecting Yu-Gi-Oh! But I owned every complete set and mainly all first edition cards from the first 14 sets ever released. So a lot of those top cards I got graded here, and I can't wait to share them with you. I've pulled all these cards myself. I never traded for the most part with any of these cards. I pulled them myself out of packs, and some of these I played with, and surprisingly, the card I played the most with got like the highest grade, and it's the rarest of them all, so I'm so excited. But I took really good care of my cards, and I kept them in binders. So let's go ahead, dive in, bring y'all closer so you can see what these cards got and take you further into this journey and unveiling these grades. Let's go. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in. So the way this is going to work is you can print this out directly through Beckett. That's what I did with these. I have a total of 3 of these pages. And you can print these directly through Beckett. And then what you have to do is you have to fill these out. So typically the sport, which is Yu-Gi-Oh!, the quantity of that specific card, the year it was made, the set it came from, also supports to put, like if it's a secret, rare, holo, a common, etc. The card number in the set, the player name, and then a declared value. Now, the declared value is based on your estimate of what you think the card will be graded at and what it is worth on the secondary resale market value. Okay, that's what this is all about. Now, if for whatever reason, if Beckett lost your card, and again, I go more in detail with this in my previous videos, so go check it out. If Beckett loses your card, they're not necessarily going to give you $1,000 for this Jinzo, right? They're going to look at the secondary market, and they are going to see what it most recently sold for, and they'll compensate you for that. Now, you do get to pay insurance for this, and you do get charged, depending on how much you declared the value of everything for, they charge you an insurance rate. Mainly, they only charge you that if you are mailing this to Beckett and they are shipping it to you. But because I drove 4 hours to drop off and pick up, I did not have to pay on insurance, which was really good to know. And I paid $35 flat service, economy rate, meaning it can take up to 60 business days for me to 60 to 90 business days for me to receive these cards. And it took roughly about maybe 70 business days, 75 business days. So they came right on time. And again, all those details I shared in my Pokemon video, go check that out. Even if you don't collect Pokemon, it was a far more immersive video. So let's go ahead and dive in. So what I did is prior to submitting these, I graded them myself. This was the grade I gave them myself. Now, when I gave them this copy, I did not unveil that grading. I whited this all out with my copy, so they have no idea. I just basically gave a value of what I thought these would come, what I thought these would sell for. So, and if you notice a check mark, that means it got the grade I graded it at. If you see that little red dot, that means it got a lesser grade. And if you see that yellow, that means it actually did better. Not these two, but this one did. That means it actually did better than what I thought it was going to do. So let's go ahead and dive in. So the first card we have here is Grand Master of the Six Samurai Secret Rare First Edition. I gave this a 9.5. It came in at a 9.5, and we all know that a 9.5 Beckett is basically a PSA 10. I mean, a 9 Beckett is a PSA 10. So a 9.5, I mean, it's a gem mint. This is amazing. You're gonna see all cards. They're not in no particular order, so you're not gonna see like the best card at the very end here. No, I'm going by the order of this list. I want to keep this video authentic. I already know the grades of all of this. They sent me an email, so I'm well aware of what all the grades were prior to picking them up. So there was like no like inauthentic like unveiling, and I'm surprisingly taking them all out in order and saving the best for last and giving you an authentic review. I don't believe in that. So there you have it. These are the subgrades. I paid for the subgrades. Again, that's $35 plus tax. So you're paying close to like $37.50, $38, depending. Yeah, that's Texas tax, right? Because I do live in Texas too. So there you have it. I am just absolutely floored with this. I gave this at a 9.510. It has a value of $500 PSA. Beckett does go a little bit more than PSA does because it's more prestigious. And though PSA is literally like it's what everyone collects for the most part. Beckett is far more prestigious. So really, really, really pumped with this grading. The next card we got, I'm not disappointed because that's what I thought I would give it, and I played with this card, is a 7.5, 8.5 Jinzo. And mainly what was giving this the grade was the centering on my end, from bottom to top. The top was a little heavier. So I can't control the centering. As you can see, anything that is an 8 or under is going to get this white label. Anything that is an 8.5 or 9 is going to get a silver label. And if it's a 9.5 or 10, it's going to get the gold label. And if it's a perfect 10, means all 4 subgrades were at 10, which is nearly impossible, you would get a black label. So there you have it. This is the Jinzo First Edition. Really, really, really excited for this. Came in at a 7.5. This card retails for about $1,000 at a 7.5. This would come in as like I would say this can come in as like an 8. The surface is what really got me, and I don't know where because I inspected the crap out of these and I didn't see any surface damage. Maybe like right here on the bottom there was, and they kept a little hair follicle in there. It kind of pissed me off. You see that? When they graded it, there's an accidental hair follicle in there. But you know what? I'm happy with it. I'm really happy with it. So yeah, there you have it. I wish it was an 8.5 silver label. It would be better. But again, it got the grade I thought it was going to get. For the most part, most of them did. Now, this one didn't. This is Chaos Emperor Dragon Envoy of the Beginning First Edition. Envoy of the End, sorry. First Edition. Now, this card, I gave it a 9.510. I found nothing with it. I thought the centering was perfect. And typically the centering is like the one thing, like, you just like can't, I mean, you can't do anything about it because that's how it was cut. Everything else, like how you take care of it, dents, etc., surface, that really affects you. But centering, again, was perfect. So were edges. And then 8.5 in surface and corners. I don't understand why this card didn't get a 9. I get like the way the grading works is if this was, let's say you got 2 9.5s and 2 9s here, it would get automatically the lower grade 9. But if it had 3 9.5s and 1 9, it would get the 9.5. In this case, you got 2 9.5s, 2 8.5s. When you add these numbers up and divide it by 4, that gives you a grading of 9. I do not understand why this didn't get a 9. It makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. So I'm disappointed with this, and I'm actually going to contest this because I want to know why that's the case. Again, it's my first time, but I really disagree with that. I think this is a solid 9, and this is something that I probably would go get graded at PSA, and I think it would come in at a better grade. Same thing with the Jinzo. So I am keeping those two off to the side because I think we're going to go get them graded at PSA. Next, we have this card, and this is a perfect example, and this is Vampire Lord First Edition. I gave this a 9. It came in at a 9. So again, you know,
I'm not mad at it at all. It got the grading I thought it was gonna get. I think they should hire me because this is my first time ever grading, and I didn't blow smoke up my ass. And at the same time, it was just genuine with what the results I thought I would get for this. This came in at a solid 9. I'm really happy for that. It is a Vampire Lord. I do have another one which I'll be grading afterwards later this December. I'm grading about 250 cards, so I will be doing that as well. And out of curiosity, I graded 106 cards in total, and I did pay $4,016 for that. I know that was steep. And I have a card here that's worth, like, literally can be worth 8K. So, really excited about that. So, again, this is the Vampire Lord. This is retails at a 9 for $400 in a PSA, but this is also a Beckett. So, a Beckett 9, I think we could do a little over 500 for this. So, I'm really excited. And by the way, every card you see here today, I am selling. It's going up on my eBay store. Go check out my eBay store below. I'm going to link the description below. So everything will be going through eBay. So I'm really excited to do that. These will start to go up on sale as of the 3rd week of October. So yeah. Now this card, I'm not mad at it. It got the grade I thought it was going to get. I got it at 8.59, came in at an 8.5. And mainly what I knew was going to kill this card was the centering, because it is heavy on the left. But this was my all-time favorite card growing up. Absolutely. It's like the best card ever. And it's none other than Injection Fairy Lily. And she looks freaking amazing, y'all. First edition. She's just flawless. I absolutely love this card so much. The centering on the back is awesome, but it's that front right there that really kills it. This card retails for about $800 in an 8.5. This card can get me a 9. I'm almost confident in a PSA is a 9, but an 8.5 is equivalent to a 9, so I'm happy with it. We're going to keep it. Next, we have the Shonen Jump Dark Magician Girl Ultra Rare. Now, this card goes for about $300 in a 9.510. It came in at a 9.5, the same grade I thought it was going to get. Really excited about this. I'm just, as you can see 3 9.5s, 1 9. The 9.5 takes the overall grade. So really pumped about that. Now, the next card is one of the ones I was heartbroken. It was like the most expensive card I was grading. One of the ones I was actually heartbroken with another one even more. Now, this card I gave in at a 10. Wasn't blowing smoke up my ass. I thought it was absolutely in just perfect condition. And it is none other than Dark Magician Girl First Edition. And unfortunately, it came in at an 8.5. So disappointed. So the centering came in at an 8. Look at the centering. Looks great. It might be just a little tad bit heavy on the top, but definitely not an 8. I would give that like a 9.5. And this is the centering on the back. It's just, it looks perfect. I don't understand that grade of an 8. This is a card I'm potentially looking to get graded over at PSA. Now, this again, the grading here, it just makes absolutely no sense, this grading whatsoever. And I'm going to show you why, because it's the same exact grading as this card right here. As you can see here, this got an 8, a 9, and 2 8.5s. This one right here, and it came in at 8.5. This one got 2 9.5s, a 9, and an 8. So the grading on this card should have been a 9, and it came in at an 8.5. So again, that I just don't understand what happened there with that. So I'm going to be contesting that. A lot of this just absolutely makes no sense whatsoever. So I will be bringing that up to Beckett. I don't know what happened there with the calculations, but this absolutely makes no sense whatsoever. This is a solid 9, right? So there you have it. Really pumped about this card. Again, I would prefer it in a 9. And I honestly think that if I got this graded with PSA, it would come in at a 10. And at a 10, it's worth over $9,000. So yay for that. So that's, again, my overall disappointment is, again, these inconsistent. I don't understand how they summed up these numbers. It makes no sense. And some of them, again, the surface, you know, they're stating that the surface or like the centering there is way off. No, it's not. It's not. It does not. It's not relative to that crap grading it got. Where edges and corners, you know, typically could be the mess up, but it's not. They're 9.5s. So again, Really, really, really disappointed with that. Next, we have the Dark Magician Girl Unlimited. This one came in at a 9.5. So, again, really happy about that. But it's the Unlimited, right? At the Unlimited at a 9.5 is $600. And it's the same grade I thought it was going to get a 9.5. And again, I thought the condition of this one was much better. So again, happy with that. The next card is the Divine Dragon Ultimate Rare Excellion. And this card right here, I gave in at an 8.5, and it came in at a 7.5. And edges is where it really, really, and I can see the edges. I definitely can see it. It makes, it's a little lumpy there. So I definitely get the edges. Surface came in at a 7.5. I think the surface was like immaculate on this card. Again, all these cards I really, really, really dived in to make sure there was no damages. So that 7.5 surface I disagree with. And then you got that 9.5, that 8.5. So it's literally, the card's just all over the place. And again, if you add all these numbers out, the average of this card should have been an 8. So again, I'm really confused with that. So I'm going to set this aside right here. I'm going to contest that to see if we can get that into an 8. And on top of that, I'm also, this is something I don't think it's worth it. Even at an 8.5, 8.5, it's a $200 card. So I think the most I'm going to do with this is contest it to see if we can get this up to an 8, and then the card would be worth about $200. I think this is the most inexpensive card we graded. Next we have Ruin Queen of Oblivion. And this card I gave a 9.5, and it came in at a 9. So I'm not mad at it. It's the Ultimate Rare First Edition. By the way, all these cards here, for the most part, are all First Edition. That Dark Magician Girl, obviously, I had to go get. And there's some LOB that are not First Edition, but here we got it. This is a 9. I'm super happy with the result on this. This one goes in a secondary market at a 9 for $1,000. So really, really, really excited for that. Now, the next card we got here is Dark Horus. Now, this card, I gave a 9.5. It came in at an 8.5. So that was a little disappointing. Again, the grade makes sense here. The 8.5 grade, totally get. And I'm not mad at it. This card goes for about $250 if it was a 9, but then again, that's a PSA, so even at 8.5 in a Beckett, it's still gonna go for that same price. Next, what we have is Hammond, Lord of what is it? What's your name? Lord of Striking Thunder. This was my only of the 3. I have them all in First Edition, but in Ultimate Rare, this was the only one. I gave this card an 8.0, and it came in at an 8.5, and guess what? I'm not mad at it. It got a little better of a grading. We got that silver label. This card at an 8 goes for $700. At an 8.5 Beckett, it's close to about $800, maybe even close to $1,000. So I'm really, really excited about that. Again, I'm not disappointed. As you can see, this is the stack of disappointment. This is the stack of undisappointment. So again, I'm happy. Next, we have the Creator. I gave this card an 8.58, and it came in at an 8.5. Again, not mad at it whatsoever. Now, the things I don't understand about this is why this got an 8.5. We have an 8, 2 9s, and a 9.5. This card should come in at a 9, so I'm going to contest why this card didn't get a 9. And if it gets a 9, I mean, forget it. It's $1,000 easy. So I definitely want to, I want to understand that grading because it makes no sense. Now we're going to go into page number 2, which is the larger, the bigger of the 2 stacks. And again, if you want to jump into this is basically what we're getting here. So if y'all, that's basically what we're going to show y'all. So the first card is Dark Blade, the Dragon Knight. This card, I gave it an 8.0. It came in at an 8.5. Guess what? We ain't mad at it. So really happy. It's the Ultimate Rare First Edition. Goes for $100 because it's a Beckett 8.5. I think this card will go up to like maybe $200, $300 now because of that. So thrilled about that. Next, we have VWXYZ Dragon Catapult Cannon First Edition. Really epic. Now, this card, I gave an 8, and it came in at a 7.5. And look at this. This makes no sense whatsoever. So the centering came in at a 7, and I get the centering top and left. Totally get that. Totally. And in the back, it's a little heavier here. Yeah, it definitely is. The centering is off. So I understand the 7 grading, but you got 2 strong 9s and a 9.5. This should have been an 8. Should have been an 8. I do not understand this grade of a 7.5, so I'm going to contest this. And sometimes I know, like, if the grading is really, really low versus everything else, like, I can get that. But again, these were really strong, and I get it, it was 7. But it's not a 7.5, man. Do the math. This is actually an 8.5 if you divide it. So why didn't this get an 8.5? I have no idea. And again, at an 8.5, this card would, be valued at close to about $400 or $500. So definitely going to contest that. Now, the next card was the biggest disappointment. And listen, I knew this card was not going to get a strong grade. I gave it an 8.58 because there was a minor dent on the top that I think I was responsible for. I would go for a 700. It's none other than the first edition Envoy of the Beginning Blackluster Soldier. This card in return, though, I noticed that it had way more damage than I remember, and I inspected this card thoroughly. And it came in, it's the lowest grade I got out of all 106 cards at a 5.5. And it's the Surface 4.5 that was like really just astonishing. I could not believe that. As for the centering, I do think it's a little bit heavy here, but I think that's like a 9 centering. The back is awesome. So the centering as an 8.5, I think that should have been easily a 9. I think with PSA, I'd get a 9. Edges are 9. Corners are 8. And again, as for the corners, I can see like there's the way it was cut. There's some lumps. Fine. Give the corners 8. But the Surface, y'all. The Surface. Look at this card. How did the Surface get a 4.5? There is absolutely, and I'm taking this off camera because I'm looking at it closer right now. Some things I notice is there's like a little bit of a speck, like right down there, right over here, just like the tiniest little black speck. But when I turn this card around, I don't know, this card did not look like my card. Now my card had right up here, this might be my card, yeah, it was right up here. It had and I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to see it here, but right up here it had a little dent. I think I created that damage on it. But then I'm noticing there was that, and then right here on the edgeware on the bottom, it had some like edgeware like right there. I don't remember that at all. That was not on the card, and now it's on the card. So really pissed off. And even nevertheless, there's no actual dent or damage on the surface of the card. It's mainly the minor edges, and I don't see how that would reflect a surface of a 4.5. This is a card I am going to get regraded through PSA because I honestly think this can come in at an 8 via PSA. 7, I'd say anywhere from like a 7 to an 8, and that's definitely a huge difference because this at an 8 would sell for $700. At a 5.5, this card is probably worth $400, $300 tops. And again, this is one of the most coveted cards in the entire Yu-Gi-Oh gaming, within the collector community. So very disappointed with that. Definitely going to go get that regraded. The next card, I'm super duper excited for. This card is worth $1,500 in a 10. We all know that a 9.5 is basically a 10 in PSA, so I can still ask for that. And it's none other than the Exodia Necros first edition, 9.5. I gave this card a 10. Again, super excited. As you can see, they're very, very, very difficult. They're very difficult to get. Like, you don't even notice 10s. It's so difficult to get it with Beckett. And I will say PSA has become a lot more challenging as too. PSA is becoming a lot more stricter, with their grading, which I appreciate, but still, this is absurd. Next, we have Gelen Duo. Now, I gave this card a 9, and it came in at a 9, so I'm not mad at it. The centering is what really, did this in, but the 9 I'm super duper happy with because that's what I thought it was going to get. Incredibly sought after secret rare. It's so freaking gorgeous. First edition, really excited. And again, all these cards are up for sale on eBay. Click the link on the description. This card goes for $1,000 in a 9. Really, really pumped about this. The next card we have here is Yubel the Ultimate, and I gave this card a 9, and it came in at an 8.5. So disappointing. And again, the 8.5 is truly, if you got an 8, 8.5, 9, 9.5, 8.5 is the medium. So I totally get it. But I gave this card a 9. So now at this point, what I have to look at is surface came in at 8.5, and then centering. Centering I could see is off on the bottom and the top. So again, just to show you something here, because there was a card here I mentioned earlier that the centering is, they really went in on the centering. And let's look at this one, for instance. They literally have close to the similar centering from top to bottom and left-hand corner. How did this one get a 7 and this one get an 8? And the back too. So I really don't understand. I've inspected a few of these and compared them, and I really just don't understand how this got the grading it got, but it is what it is. It's an 8.5. This card at a 9 would have been worth 500, but then again, it's a Beckett 8.5, so it's still around the same cost. Because these prices you have quoted here, these were all PSA prices. Next, we have the Dark Creator. I gave this card a 9. It came in at an 8.5. Again, very disappointed. And again, why? I have no idea, because if you do the math here, 9.5, 9.5, 9.8, this should have come in at a 9. So this is another card I'm going to contest, because if it comes in at a 9, that's the price I expected. So again, I don't understand the math there. Dark Lord Zeratu. So this card right here came in at an 8.59. It's what I gave it, and it came in at a 9. Super happy. And first time we're seeing a 10. Again, they're very rare to come across. So the 10 was really epic. So really excited about that. So not mad at this at all. This card, I was disappointed in, because I gave this card a 10 and it would have cost 2,000. And I know that if I send this to PSA, it's going to get a 10. And this is the Rainbow Dragon. This is another card that, look at the grading. You have 10, 8.5, 2 9.5s. Makes absolutely no sense. The middle ground number here is 9. Well, if this would have been a 9, 10, I get a 9.5. So that 8.5, I see why I got a 9. I'm not mad at that. But I do think that this is a card that if I go get graded over at PSA, it's going to come in at a 10. So again, I'm not going to get this graded because it's also a 9, and a Beckett 9 is equivalent to a PSA 10. So I still think I can get a 10. I still think I can still get the 2,000 for this card as well. And again, these prices are based on what they recently sold on eBay when I graded these cards back in June. And I went through most recently sold highest price, but I didn't go by that. I only went through auctions. So cards that went through an auction process. So there was multiple bids, right? If it had one bid or two bids, didn't count it. It had to have multiple bids, like 30, 40, 20 something bids. That's how you can authentically tell what a card goes for in the secondary value. A lot of these right now you can't even refer or reference them because they haven't been sold in over 3 months. This card is another card that was incredibly disappointing, and this is the Ghost Rare Rainbow Dragon. I gave this card a 9. This was a huge disappointment. It came in at a 7.5, and they're mentioning edges, and I can see now the edge. I didn't account for that right there. See the little lumps there, the way the card was cut right here? So totally get the 7.5. But then the surface is 7. I'm taking this off camera right now because I'm looking really close at this right now. And I'm trying to see where there is surface damage. And there is no surface damage. Again, the edges on this card, totally get it. But the surface on this is a 9.5. So this is definitely something that I'm definitely going to investigate a little further. Now, this card should also, the grading on this card should not be a 7.5. We got 2 solid 9.5, 7, 7.5. Again, this should be a solid minimum 8. Why we got a 7.5? I have no idea. I'm going to contest that. And I'm also considering of having that sent to PSA because it's killing the value. It's going from $1,200 to practically $200. It makes no sense. I'd rather break the slab, pay the money, and send that over to PSA. Next, we have the Venomiga Poisonous Snake. Now, this card I gave this card a 9.510. It would have been valued at $2,500. It came in at a 9. Very disappointed with that. And again, this grade makes no, this grade, it does make sense. If this would have been a 9, it would have been a 9.5. It's an 8.5 surface. So again, I don't see anything wrong with the surface whatsoever. So this is something that if I got regraded, I definitely see the centering. See, this makes no sense because like the centering came in at a 9.5, but if you look at the back centering, the left is heavier than the right, and that would give this a 9, but for some reason it got that. So I'm not the maddest at it. We're gonna keep it. This card goes for about, again, 2,500. I think because of the 9, it's gonna go for about 1,200, which sucks, right? But let's see what we could do. Again, a lot of collectors will pay for a Beckett 9. They would pay similar or close to the cost of a PSA. Now, this is one of my most exciting cards that we got back in return. I gave this card a 10. It came in at a 9.5, and guess what? Super happy about it. 9.5 is it's not practically, it is a 10. This would be a pristine 10 for PSA. One of the most sought after secret rares. So thrilled I got this. This is valued at over $3,000, so really, really pumped for that. These next 3 were 3 of the same card. It's the Ghost Rare Misprint Rainbow Dragon. Okay, so this is supposed to be I forget who this is supposed to be. This is supposed to be Elemental Hero Chaos, and instead it says Rainbow Dragon, which sucks. But again, these I valued them all at, close to about like $1,500, $2,000. I gave these all a grade of a 9, 9, and a 10, and they all came in at an 8.5, which was just like, just absolutely BS. And we look at this card as a perfect example. 9.5829. This should be a 9, not an 8.5. So gonna contest that. Here's another one. Same thing. 9.598. Hold on. This one was 8, 9. Same thing. This should come in as a 9. It came in as an 8.5, so I definitely want to contest that. And then this one right here came in as a 9.5, 9, 8.5, 8.5. And again, if you bring that 0.5 over here, you'd got a 9, 9, 9, 8.5. This would be a 9. So all 3 of them should be a 9. So I'm going to contest those. I'm really, really pissed on how they came up with that grade. And for the final stack this evening, super excited. So as you can see here, those are going to be the cards. Let's start with the first card here, and it's Harpy's Pet Dragon. Now this card I gave an 8. It came in at an 8. Not mad at it. The corners is what really is what really messed the overall rating here. But again, here, if you bring down the 0.5 here, you get a 999 and then a 7.5. I definitely see this card as an 8, 8.5. It came in at an 8. Not mad at it. We're keeping it. Next, we have the Dark Sage. I gave this a 9. It came in at a 9. We're happy. This card retails for about $150 at a 9. Again, it is also a Beckett 9, so maybe a little bit more. Then we have the Winged Dragon Ra. This one is from the really pissed off with this grading. This is from the Worldwide Edition promos. This one right here goes for $1,500 in a 10. Everything came in at a 9.5 except corners. Corners came in at a 7. And again, I don't understand the 7.5 grading. This should have at least gotten an 8. They have 3 strong 9.5s and a 7. Add that up and divide that by 4. That's an 8. What's going on here? And so it said the corners, and I honestly am looking at the corners here, and the corners are absolute perfection. So this is a card I definitely want to get regraded with PSA. I'm not selling that. Now, we also got I got the Winged Dragon Ra. This one is from the Dawn of Destiny promo, and this one goes for, at a 10, it goes for $500. I gave this card a 9.5. It came in at 9.5. Really happy about it. We ain't mad. This card I knew was going to come in low. I gave this card a 7.58. It came in at a 7.5. Again, same thing here. 7.5, but we got a 9.5, a 9, a 9, and a 7. Why didn't this get an 8? I don't understand. I'm going to contest that. This card goes for about $100. Now, the best card we got here with the lowest pop ever. I think there's less than 6 in the world, less than 8 in the world. And this is including CGC, Beckett, and PSA. I'm only one of 6, or I think one of 4 people. I gave this card a 10, and I'm going to be honest with y'all. I played with it. I pulled this out of a tournament pack 4, and it was none other than the ultra rare Royal Decree. And this is probably the first time y'all are ever seeing this. This is a 9.5. This card is incredibly rare. Yes, Royal Decree has gotten so many reprints, but this is the OG. Like, I mean, I remember playing with this and being the only person for like 2 years prior to the actual reprint of this in like, I think it was like a common super rare. I would remember everyone, like I would pull this out and everyone's like, holy crap, I can't play any trap cards. This card was so epic. This came in at a 9.5, which is basically a 10. I mean, I am just over the moon with myself. Like, this was just freaking awesome. This card easily goes for 6K minimum. It is the most expensive card that got graded. And again, I am selling it. So super, super excited with that grading. If I were to send this to PSA, I'd easily get a 10. 9.5, again, as we mentioned, is equivalent to a PSA 10. And next we have Dark Mirror Force. I gave this card a 9. It came in at a 9. So really, really, really excited about this as well. Looks awesome. We ain't mad at it. And at a 9, goes for about $100. This card right here, Change of Heart, first edition. I gave this card a 7. It came in as a 7. So guess what? We ain't mad at it. So here we have it. And the reason being is the centering was a little off, that I remember seeing. And I remember there was something like the edge right there at the very top of the edge and on the bottom right there. And on the back. See that right there on the back. So this came in at a 7. Not mad at it. This is exactly what I thought it would be. It is what it is. Now, I also sent the Gaia, the Fierce Sign. I gave this card a 9. It came in as an 8. So really, really saddened about this card. The centering, edges, corners, but then the surface came in at a 7. And again, this is a card that I've inspected. There is no laser print line. I don't understand how that got what it got. This is definitely a card that I'm going to resend because I honestly think that this card would go for a 9, and at a 9, it goes for $1,500. There's no way I'm not resending that to PSA. Now, this I knew. This card gave a 7.88, and it came at 7.58, and it came in at an 8, and what really killed this card was that laser print right there. First edition Monster Reborn from LOB. This card goes for $500, and I'm excited. Not mad at it. Not mad at it at all. Yeah. Awesome. Next, we have the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Gave this card a 7.58. It came in at an 8.5. This isn't unlimited, but because of that 8.5, this card now goes for about $400-500. I'm really excited about that. Really pumped about that. So yay. And the final card that we got graded, I gave this an 8, 8.5. It came in at an 8. And again, this is another card I'm going to contest because they got 2 9s, 2 8s. The middle ground is an 8.5. That would make this a silver slab. This is the Red Eyes Black Dragon. And so with that silver slab, I'd get like $400 for it. So definitely want to contest that as well because I don't understand that at all. Again, I get if it was like 2 9s, right? And let's say if it was, okay, let's say if this was 2 9s, and let's say it was 2 8.5s and 2 8s. I'm sorry, 2 9s and two 8.5s. I would get the grade of an 8.5 if that was the case. But for this, it makes absolutely no sense because again, the middle ground here, if you have the middle ground here is an 8.5. If you have 2 9s and 2 8s, it's an 8.5, bro. It's not an 8. Like, where did you learn your math, Beckett? That's not how you properly grade. So I definitely want to see what's up with that. And I actually had more based on ratio, I had more discrepancies with my Yu-Gi-Oh cards than my Pokemon. As you can see here, this was the ones that I accepted versus a discrepancy. Over at Pokemon, we graded a whole lot more cards And these were all the ones I had an issue with. So a lot more, obviously, but I did grade a lot more. So the ratio wise, I think Yu-Gi-Oh gave me a lot more trouble, but definitely a lot of these I want to just regrade. I believed in the grading, but I know I would probably get something better with PSA. And then a lot of these I want to contest because they just make, again, the math makes absolutely no sense on these. So if you want to check that video out, go ahead and watch that video. I linked in the description, my previous video. I really do hope y'all thoroughly enjoyed this as much as I did filming it and the whole process. I'm, again, disappointed. That's why I overall give my experience a 7.57 with Beckett. I thought the pricing was fair. I thought the overall experience was awesome. I thought the process was smooth. What I didn't appreciate, I thought the grading was fair too. What I didn't understand was surface. Surface affected the majority of all the gradings. I just didn't understand was surface. Like I aligned with edges, centering, corners, get it. But surface was a big, like, what are you talking about, bro? I'm like inspecting this with a magnifying glass. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the surface. And then to top that off was that overall number. Like, where do you come up with these numbers? They make absolutely no sense. 2 9.5s, an 8 and a 9. You know, do the math, bro. Do the math. Transfer the 0.5 and the 0.5 over to that. You get a 9,999. This is a 9. This isn't a freaking 8.5. What the hell? So we definitely want to see what they say to me because I do have so many cards I have to contest. And so, yep, there you have it. I really do hope y'all enjoyed this. Again, go over to eBay because all of these cards are officially already on sale. So they're all going up on auction. So really excited about that. Thank you all so much. Stay amazing, and I will catch you all on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and stay connected with us. Stay amazing, y'all. Keep collecting. Over and out.